So if you are watching DJI, that Supernight mode on the Nano just needs a little firmware update to bring it in line with the 1/1.3 sensor, so it's exactly the same as the Action 5 Pro. Right, so in today's video it's going to be an interesting one because I'm going to be comparing the newly released DJI Osmo Nano versus the Action 5 Pro. So soon as the Nano got released, I had a look at the specs and it was very similar to the Action 5 Pro. So it got me thinking, I've got to do a comparison video to see the differences here. So there were three main features which look very similar to me, and that's both have got the 13.5 stops of dynamic range, they've both got the same image size sensor, a 1/1.3 sensor there, and they both boast a 10-bit colour profile. And I've got it on this rig today, so no matter where I point these cameras, both are going to be replicating each other because that's exactly what I want on the split screen there. It's a really nice bright sunny day, so there's going to be lots of blown out areas as well as a lot of shaded areas, so that's going to be great to test out the 13.5 stops of dynamic range on both cameras. So to make it a fair comparison today, I'm going to leave both cameras in automatic mode. The resolution is going to be set to 4K 30, the field of view is going to be standard D-warp, and because it's a really nice bright sunny day, I'm going to set the EV values to -3 on both cameras. So it's not all about the resolution today, it's also keeping an eye on the stabilization on both cameras, the audio quality, and that 13.5 stops dynamic range. And now I'm going to go around and start filming some clips for you. I'll split that screen so we can really see if there's some differences there. And along the way, I'll do an internal audio test on both cameras to compare that also. Now I'm going to go around and start comparing both cameras. Here we go. So now we're in a heavily shaded area, so it'd be interesting to compare both cameras on this shot. Right, I'm vlogging on the Nano at the moment, so this is a heavily shaded area. As you can see, it's really bright over there, but this is really shaded by this wall. So on this split screen, which one looks the best in the shaded area? And once again, I'm vlogging on the Nano. I think it's a good idea to keep doing that, mainly more than the Action 5 Pro, as that's been out a year, and as of now, this has only been out 5 days, so I really want to test the audio quality there. So as you can see down there, we've got a long straight, a lot of shaded and blown out areas. So this is going to be great to compare it as I'm walking down facing towards me and then spinning it round the opposite way. Here we go. So which camera so far is looking the best? Now as I'm looking on the back of both screens there, the Vision Dock and the back of the OLED screen on the 5 Pro, I will say that the Nano looks really impressive against the 5 Pro. The 5 Pro, although all the settings are exactly the same, it looks a lot more pleasing on the Nano. Right, so now I'm doing the audio test, and it's also a great dynamic range test because the sun's really strong here and it's casting some shadows. As you can see now, I'm on more or less a shadow. Always at 13.5 stops, really working. Right, so now I'm approximately 1 meter away from both cameras, and what you're listening to right now is the Action 5 Pro's audio. And now we switched over to the Nano's audio, and once again, what does the audio quality sound like from the Nano compared to the Action 5? And now I'm going to go back to 5 meters, talk normally, and compare once again. So now I'm stood at 5 meters away, and once again you're listening to the Action 5 Pro. So what does the audio quality sound like at 5 meters? Again, talking normal level. Now we switched over to the Nano, and once again, what does the audio quality sound like at 5 meters with the Nano? So which one has the best internal audio, the Nano or the Action 5 Pro? Which camera's performing the best there? This is really going to test out that 1/1.3 sensor, and so this is really going to test out that 13.5 stops dynamic range right now. which one makes me look more of a shadow than the other. Well, once again, they're both relatively the same. So now we've got a really heavily shaded area. Looking at which camera then? Nano. So we're going in this heavily shaded area, again in normal filming mode, and then I'll switch to Supernight mode, split the screen, and let's compare there. Here we go. So this is filming in normal filming mode, all the same settings. And this room's really dark. So this is really going to be testing sensor sizes right now. I'm looking at the back of both screens, and they really do look good. Right, now I'm going to switch over to Super Night mode. Right, so now both cameras are recording in Super Night mode, all the same settings. I'll split that screen for you and see if we see any differences here. Although we've got a bit of light penetrating through the window, it is pretty dark in here, but I'm going to find somewhere even darker in a moment. So stick around and we'll really compare that low light. And now we're coming from a dark room into a really bright area outside. So let's see how both cameras handle this. And now you're listening to the Nano's internal audio once again. And now it's time to go inside, and I want to find a really dark area to really test out the Super Night mode on both cameras. Here we go. Oh, nice strobe lighting. Straight away the Action 5 Pro's rectified that, but as you can see, we're having a little bit of a rave with the Nano. Right, indoor test. It looks like there's only me inside of this place. So this room, every time I do a video in here, I like to just let you guess where you think the secret door is. That's strong behind me, isn't it? So in this room, there's a secret door. Where is it? Not telling you. Right. For those who've been following my channel, you're going to know it's right here. Don't look as secret, but back in the day they'd had some curtains or something across here. As you can see, we've got some movement there. And that goes straight through to the other room. And as you can see, on the other side it was camouflaged, but this side it isn't. But we're talking 350, 400 years ago, so like I said, curtains or some kind of cupboard or wardrobe over there. But it was a real sneaky thing, that. Because William Cavendish really liked his ladies. Go and research it, I'll leave it there. This is a really dark room, as you can see. And a bit of light. Here's that little window. And that's facing the other way. So as you can see, we're in a real low light setting here. It is almost dark, and this is normal filming mode on both cameras. Now let's compare that with Super Night mode. Here we go. Right, so now you're viewing the Super Night mode on the Action 5 Pro. And I can see that's doing a great job there. But but not so much on the Nano. Now, I've done a little bit of testing on this before, and that Nano seems to be struggling in low light situations. So basically it's only, what, 5 days old as I'm doing this video, the Nano, so I should suspect DJI are going to pick up on this, hopefully see this video, and then we're going to tweak another firmware update to rectify that. So once again we're in Supernight mode, and I can see on the back of the vision dock on the Nano, it's way darker. It's even darker than normal filming mode. So once again, DJI, I think we need a firmware update there to bring it alongside the Action 5 Pros. As you can see here, the Action 5 Pro is the clear winner in Supernight mode. Right, now have a guess which camera I'm speaking to. I'm speaking directly to the Nano, and this is the internal audio. So now I'm just going to do a hyperlapse with the Action 5 Pro versus the Nano, and we'll do that in a rate of times 15, have a steady walk all the way around, and then we'll just compare the hyperlapse on both cameras. Here we go. So I hope you enjoyed this video today, and as you've seen from the footage on that split screen, which one do you think's the best there? So I think you can agree I've given it a really good thorough test today. We've seen that split screen, and we've seen the picture quality, the audio and the stability from both cameras. And then when I switched to Supernight mode, as you saw, when it's in a real dark setting, the Nano's not quite there yet, but like I say, it's only been out 5 days, so this is what DJI usually do. They chuck all cameras out there, then they'll see videos like this, and then they know where to tweak it. So if you are watching DJI, that Supernight mode on the Nano just needs a little firmware update to bring it in line with the 1/1.3 sensor, so it's exactly the same as the Action 5 Pro. So even though all the settings have been the same today, I do see on the back of the vision dock on the Nano that it does look a little bit darker than on the Action 5 Pro. And as you're listening to this right now, I've not been back home and edited this, so I'm just looking through these tiny screens, but they did look really similar today, especially when I was in them blown out areas and them shaded areas, because we've got that same image size sensor and the same 13.5 stops dynamic range. So as always, do stay tuned to the channel, as there's going to be plenty more videos on the horizon, especially with testing out the newly released Nano. But for now, thanks for watching, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and bye for now.